It's Stasha Erickson. I hope you're all doing well today. Well, it is the 5th of September of 2017, and I'm here with a Mandela effect video. I haven't done one of these little voiceover residual evidence videos for you guys in a while, and I'm currently collecting all of the evidence and proof and stories that I can gather for the Mandela Effect book, Volume 2. I really could only fit certain categories into the first book, so there's a lot of Mandela effects that I just simply was not able to cover. So what I've been doing is I've been going through a lot of my collection of evidence that I found on my own studies and also what some of you out there have sent to me. Now, the big debate that I want to talk about today is the C3PO from Star Wars debate. Now I'm going to show you guys a collection of photos as this audio is playing. Now what I've done is I have found lots of different pieces of residual evidence for C3PO having been all gold. From top to bottom, the top of his head to the tips of his toes were always gold. Well, since the Mandela effect has come into my life and across my path, I have discovered that C3PO now is found with one iron or silver leg. Now, it was kind of strange because I've been to this museum in San Diego, California, the Museum of Man, several times. And I'll show you guys some pictures from my visits there. I think there's a picture here with C3PO and my husband. And I've been to this museum multiple times with my daughter, with my mom, with my sister, and then about a year ago with my husband and my children. And I didn't know about the Mandela effect last summer. I think this was like last June. And so I didn't pay very good attention to C3PO when I saw him yet again. Now, when I first saw C3PO years before, I took a photo with my mom and my daughter and my sister, and I do not recall his leg being silver at that point. Now, when I scrubbed all through my photos, I could not find a single photo of us standing in front of C3PO where we were not blocking one of his legs. So it just blew my mind because I started going through my photos from a year ago on Facebook, and there was the statue of C3PO yet again at the Museum of Man, and he has a silver leg. So I've had a lot of people that constantly send me Mandela effects, constantly send me residual evidence. And yesterday I started just going through these piles of photos that I found. I had multiple people send me proof of dolls, C3PO dolls that they had. Someone even had a C3PO onesie that they had bought from Amazon in the UK. And all of these C3POs were gold. In fact, one guy named Dave, I won't say your last name, who was in a Mandela Effect group with me yesterday, I just out of nowhere started collecting these photos for C3PO. And the next thing I knew, this guy Dave makes a comment on a totally unrelated Mandela Effect picture and says, by the way, I've just found my C3PO doll from 1977. It's my original doll from when I was a kid or from when I was younger, and he's still intact. And so I said, oh my God, what are the odds of this? I just happen to be making a C3PO video. Dave, can you please upload some photos of your doll for me? So he sent me some really great images of his C3PO doll, and he said he's literally had it since 1977. So that's 40 years he's had this doll. You can see on it that it was clearly always gold. There's even some undertones of like copper and brown and stuff like that where the gold has rubbed away. So I've continued to scrub the internet. I found some more evidence of dolls. Again, the onesie. There is even like a statue out front of a Star Wars museum that somebody was able to find where he was all in gold. But again, a lot of this stuff is from a long time ago, or if it's not from a long time ago, it's at least more than 5 years old, which is before the Mandela effect came into our lives. So I've done a lot of research, I've done a lot of scrubbing, and there's kind of some stories that have seemed to pop up out of nowhere about C3PO's past and why he suddenly looks so different. Now, in the new Star Wars that I just recently saw, C3PO now had one red arm, which I thought was very strange. And so as I dug a little bit deeper, if you go on to like the Star Wars fan sites, it seems like everybody has an answer for why C3PO had a silver leg. And I think in his beginnings, he was made out of spare parts. And at one point, it is stated that he was given an iron or a silver leg because they didn't have all gold parts for him. So that would make sense maybe for like one episode of Star Wars. But how many episodes of Star Wars do we have now? If you go through and you scrub all of these old videos and you take screenshots, you're going to see that C3PO has basically always had this silver leg. He's never been this fully gold robot that we all remember. So really why I'm making this video today is just really to get to the bottom of this C3PO debate. I would love to hear from some Star Wars fanatics, some people that really know about Star Wars. I mean, of course, I saw all these movies when I was a child. I'm 39 now, so I've been around since 77, and I think that's when the first Star Wars came out. So I've pretty much seen them all, but I'm definitely not somebody who has memorized every scene or knows every backstory of every character. But I myself even had a C3PO doll when I was a kid, and it was gold. I also had a C3PO Pez dispenser. I'm sure you guys remember Pez candy, and it was fully gold. I mean, why wouldn't his head be gold and the body of the Pez dispenser be silver or something like that? So I know for a fact I've always recalled him being completely gold. And I would just love to hear from those of you out there that can explain to me why he has a silver leg. I just don't find it very consistent that all of the toys, all of the dolls and figurines and everything that came out for the past 40 years would all have a silver leg if it was simply just from, let's say the first episode of Star Wars where he was being put together. There's way too much of this evidence out there that C3PO is completely gold. I've seen him depicted on Family Guy. I've seen him depicted on Simpsons. As per usual, those two shows are full of predictive programming, and they always show him all gold. So something's going on here. Now, I totally believe in the Mandela effect. I totally believe in getting to the bottom of evidence, but I also want to know if there is room here for error for those of us who don't maybe know every little detail about Star Wars. Maybe this silver leg thing was like a really big deal because that's how he was created, so they've decided to represent him in that way. But now he's switching to this red arm thing. I just feel it's super symbolic. And I really would love to hear as many comments on this and as much feedback as possible, because I'm going to put this into the Mandela Effect book, volume 2. I feel like it's a really big deal. I'll have a whole section in the book about Star Wars because we have, of course, the Luke, I am your father scenario. We also have Darth Vader's mask changing. There's a lot of things about Star Wars that seem to be coming up. If I had more time on my hands and if I wasn't in a full-time religion degree, I would be sitting here watching Star Wars, taking screenshots, taking notes, because I think Star Wars is one of the most symbolic movie stories that exists. If you do a lot of research about what apparently happened to planet Earth before we got here, there's a lot of stories out there that there was some type of space war, or Star Wars, if you will, that happened before our planet came into existence. This had a lot to do with our planet possibly colliding with another planet known as Tiamat. And when our planets smashed together, some stuff went down. So this also is a big theory of why people believe that Earth is no longer like Pangea. All of the continents used to be attached, and now they've all been separated. So if another planet collided with planet Earth at some point, then we would have separation on our geography. So Star Wars, I believe, is a very deep story, and I don't think it's just some entertainment thing. I don't think it's for kids, and I don't even think it's for young adults. I think it is a very deep retelling of our human history with a sci-fi twist on it. So who is this C3PO guy? What does he really represent? What is his deeper meaning? That's really what I want to get to the bottom of, because I find that whenever I'm doing Mandela Effect research and anything that has changed before and after, there is always some deep, almost esoteric, hidden occult meaning to the change that happens before and after. So far across the board, all of the research that I've done about the name changes for people, Most people's name change that is happening is going from something plural to something singular. For instance, Christopher Reeves is now Christopher Reeve. Sally Fields is now Sally Field, etc., etc. What many people believe, what I found in my research anyway, is that this is pointing towards what the scientific community call singularity, where perhaps before we had multiple realities existing on one planet, and now we are kind of merging them all together to one singularity existence. Now, if that was the case, could C3PO have been always meant to have this silver leg? Was he never meant to be fully gold? There's a lot of symbolism as to what gold represents and what gold stands for. If you read about the Bible and you read about Aaron and the golden calf and Moses and everything that happened post Mount Sinai when they're on their way to the Promised Land, you'll know that gold became another issue again. Most of the stories of ancient aliens and all these other things that we discover, they all lead back to these gods of old, whether they're the Anunnaki, what we know today as the word Israel really came from three beings, Isis, Ra, and El. They were kind of the old trinity in the Egyptian pantheon. So, maybe I won't continue to expand on that one. It's just really deep. So what I'm trying to say here is I think there's something much deeper going on beneath the surface. There's something much more going on than C3PO's leg going from completely silver or completely gold to one silver leg. Gold, I believe, has some type of a curse attached to it. Now think about it. Whenever you see these gold panning shows like Gold Rush and stuff like that, you always see that these older lads kind of have like black eyes and almost black mouths and black teeth, and when they're in the presence of gold, they're shaking and they're like trembling, and they have this curse, almost this energy come through them and come out of them. I, for one, have never been a fan of gold. My whole life I was always like, oh, I'd rather wear silver or nothing at all, or I wear, a stone ring that's just made of ebony or something like that. But I've been having this really thing where I just cannot stand gold my whole life, and I never really got it. But the deeper that I'm getting into learning about our human history and our past and what brought us to where we are today, gold has been a big problem for a long time. So if C3PO has gone from being fully gold to now having this one iron or silver leg, is there something deeper hidden within that? Now, again, I'm not saying that this is correct or that my theory is on point, but I'm just starting to notice these little clues that somehow all connect together to this bigger puzzle. What does it mean? I have so many smart subscribers on this channel, and I really, really want to start hearing from you guys a lot more. It's been really hard for me because I get so many trolls every day. I'm still getting attacked. If I mention anything that rubs people the wrong way, they immediately unsubscribe to me. And I just really would appreciate to have more open-minded people interacting with this channel. It's very quick to pass a judgment on somebody. I had someone say they unsubscribed to me because they found one video where I mentioned that I voted for Donald Trump. And this was from like a year ago. Or if I mentioned that I'm in a Christian university receiving a degree in biblical studies, I'm instantly called, what is the one thing they say? Oh yeah, you're religiously programmed. Now I have to constantly remind people over and over again, I wasn't raised a Christian. I never went to church. This is something where God has touched me, or the Spirit or Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost has touched me and put me on a mission to help humanity's history be healed. And I know that's very hard for some people to accept, but this is really what this channel is about for me. This is what all my books are about. I'm still trying to get answers to why humanity has the suffering that it does, why it has the division that it does. And perhaps it goes all the way back to the Tower of Babel, when God separated us on purpose and confused our language on purpose because we had become too selfish. Well, look at the generation we're in today, the selfie generation. It's happening all over again, minus the golden calf. If somebody puts up a golden calf statue in Times Square, you better run the other way. If anyone also thinks that what happened in the Bible is not actually regurgitating and happening again right now, you have to think again. And again, even if, let's say, the whole Bible is fake and it's not our true history, we have to understand that when a book is placed into the hands of millions of people and they read it over and over and over again, it's like a spell. It's like a spell. So even if you don't believe it, millions of other people do believe that the end of the world is coming, the rapture is coming, all of these things. I don't believe in the end of the world. I believe we will go on to infinity. But I really want to start having a better dialogue with all of you that watch these videos and really tell me, what do you truly think is happening here? What is this deeper meaning? Why is everything changing? And why now are some of us able to see it where others simply cannot? Really love to hear your feedback on this one. So please leave your comments, your evidence, whatever you can in the description box below. If you have photos and things you'd like to send me, go to my website, StashaErickson.com. You'll find my email address on there, which is simply StashaErickson@gmail.com. Send me your story, send me your photos, send me your residual evidence. Your proof and your story will make it into the Mandela Effect Volume 2. And also, I just wanted to mention before I go, I have a promotion going on Patreon. And for anybody who comes and signs up to become a pledge on my Patreon page for just $1 per month, I will send you a copy of the Mandela Effect book, ebook or PDF, whichever one you prefer, to your email address. So if you just pledge the $1, I will send you an ebook. You just got to send me your email address. And I'll keep this promotion going probably for the rest of the year. So if you want to come support me over there, the links will be in the description box below. Again, the pledge just has to be $1 a month. I have private videos on there that I don't share with the rest of the public. I do a monthly Q&A video for my Patreons, and I think I only have like 10 or 11 of you over there. So I'd love to have more of you come over to Patreon because I can be a little more candid and more honest and not worry about YouTube censoring my videos all the time. So I love you guys ever so much. Hope you have some good feedback for me on the C3PO debate because I really want to get to the bottom of it. And I just love you guys so much. And thanks for the support. Thanks to all of you who believed in me and supported me when the rest of the world doesn't.